Hey guys, it's Arx here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another video, but today it's not going to be a Switch review, but a keyboard review. Today, let's all take a look and listen at a budget entry TKL the VL87 by Tecware. As you know, we have already reviewed the VL80 and that was one of a good pre-built keyboards as it comes in with switches and a good quality keycaps. Now for the VL87, this is more like a budget entry TKO by means of because it only comes in bare bones, meaning to say that you won't get a switch and you will not get a keycaps. So it's just the board and the stabilizers. So this comes in around about $47 at the time of the peso $2 conversion, and the VL87 is a tray mount board but has some silicone gaskets and more on that later. This board has the basics of the basics, but don't get me wrong, tray mount is still nice for beginners out there who want to get started in the hobby and doesn't want to break the bank. So out of the box, you'll get of course the VL87. By the way, the switches here doesn't come free, I just had it there to try out the stabs, but the stabs here is already included. As you can see, it is made out of plastic, but it doesn't look cheap as it has that smoky, clear black finish, and looking at the back, you have the rubber feet and adjustable feet. Then the USB placement, and mind you that it is a bit tight on the cable, so if you have a custom cable, it might be a little too squeezed out. So turning up the board, we have here a 5-pin hot swap south-facing PCB, and it only has a wired connection. Also comes in with a silicone case foam and EVA plate foams. And the most interesting part is it has some silicone gaskets here, which didn't really give the board some flex and bounce considering it is a tray mount board, but it's still nice to have it there. Also, it is customizable through Tecware software, and also you can switch to Mac and Windows anytime you want. Now let's prepare the board. So the stabs, it already has some pre-factory lube, and I must say it isn't that bad and looks consistent enough for me, so we won't mod this further. Instead, we'll just add a little bit of some GS2 grease on the stabs. So for the switches that we'll be using on the Soundtest, we'll be using one of my favorite Tecware switches under category, the Pearl Clear. This is a linear switch that has a 63-gram springs, which is the sweet spot for me in terms of linears, and these are lubed with Krydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. For the keycaps, we'll be using a Geek Arc PBT set. Now let's enjoy the sound test for the Tecware VL87. And that was the sound test for the Tecware Veil87. What do you think about them? Let me know in the comment section down below and let's have some quick discussions. Now, let's all talk about my thoughts and opinion about the board. Modding the board isn't quite that hard, but you really need to put an effort and exert some effort in taking off the back case. It took me a while before I took it off, but other than that, you're actually good as is, as it comes in with silicone dampener. And I think the only mod that you can do you can do on the board is adding the tape mod on the PCB, and I think that's it. Same as the VL80, basically you are good out of the box, just tune the stabs and you're good to go. So who is this board for? I think this is mainly for people who wants a board that doesn't break the bank while still being a decent board for productivity. Especially now, a lot of us are working from home and some are already working on site, so this might be the board for you. Personally, I can recommend them, or to the people who wants a board that they can bring for work. It's a bit light and easy to carry, not to mention that it looks good for a plastic board. Now moving on to my thoughts on the feel. Considering that this is a tray mount board, expect a stiff typing feel, but not to the point that you'll feel some fatigue. The silicone gaskets didn't really quite help regards to the feel, to be honest, but for what it is asking, it's passable for beginners. Now moving on to my thoughts on the sound. I think the switches that I used might be a bit too thin on the board, but of course, considering that the build structure and mounting on the board, you wouldn't really expect something with regards to the sound profile. I do think that the silicone gasket helped the sound isolate more on the board, but nonetheless, it sounds like a pre-built board and sounds similar enough to the VL80. Overall, just what I've said earlier, this is mainly for beginners who has an idea on what custom board is, but looking for something that wouldn't break their bank just in case that they want to have a TKL or something for productivity and something that they can easily mod and have fun with. I will recommend this for someone who is starting from scratch, or maybe someone who wants to try again the TKL layout with a small budget in mind and would still have fun. So yeah, that is it for the video, guys. How about you? What do you think about the VL87? I hope you guys enjoyed the review and I really hope that you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button as it helps out my channel grow. Again, thank you so much for the support for the 3K subs. And what's next? Well, we do have some Akku switches here and some Epimaker switches, which I am very much excited for you guys to hear the sound test and to know my thoughts. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.